raise it up, why? Raise it up, raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up, hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up, raise it up, why? Raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. West side, raise it up. Raise it up, raise it up, raise it up, raise it up, raise it up. North side, raise it up. South side, raise it up. East side, raise it up. The west side, raise it up. Raise it up, 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 raise it up.
Hey, loves. Hey, loves. I try not to laugh very hard right when I start these episodes because sometimes I'll be listening back and it's like a hell of a lot of energy before I'm ready for it. But I guess today's not going to be the day that we start that way. So, hey, loves, hey, loves, hey, loves. My name is Wyann Vaughn. I also go by Y. And this is another incredible episode because I'm sitting with I am Wendi with an I. Incredible. Hello. Another incredible episode of Raise It Up Y, the podcast. We're coming at you the last Thursday of October 2022. In an episode I was calling something different. And then my sister came and sat next to me. Oh. So now we're calling it Sexy versus Sporty.
Really?
We're going to call it. For anyone who doesn't know, my sister and I are featured in my first single and my first music video that is out now on all YouTube streaming platforms. I was going to say on all streaming platforms, on all YouTube streaming platforms. It was recorded by The Remedy Yard, headed by none other than the guy behind that camera there at Boomer Did It. Who also has an album out. Need I say more? But outside of that, I was sending the link to our first music video, my first music video, and I think our first music video out to a lot of folks in this music industry. And one of my favorite friends, my favorite homeboys in this industry, saw the video and said, "Why? I love the chord progressions. I love this song." I'm like, "Thank you so much." And then he said, "Hey, who's the sexy girl in the video with you?" I said, it took me everything to say, not to say there are two sexy girls in this video, hello. But also it let me know that I do my job in this industry by making myself all of my homeboys' little sister. So they don't necessarily look at me outwardly that way. So, the new girl, though, who happened to look like me, only from some pounds lighter.
Wyann.
It's my sister, Wendi. Round of applause.
Thank you.
You got your mic. You got to say thank you.
Oh, thank you.
She got a mic now. She got it right now. I got an 8K, and I'm going to spray. No, I'm sorry. I feel silly on this episode because I just got done doing my sister's yoga. We will talk about it more in this episode, but if you don't make it any further, please know now that she has a platform that she is developing called Yippee-Ki-Yo Kaye motherfucker. No, that's not what it's called. It's called Kaye though. Hashtag CAYAY. Kaye, which stands for Come As You Are Yoga. If you search the hashtag, I'll always make sure there's a little black yogi girl doing the yoga, and that's how you can separate hers from anyone else's. But my sister, I am Wendi with an I, also known in real life as Wendi Vaughn, hello, is here, one, for us to talk about that, but two, this whole year on this podcast, we have been talking about fine-tuning different emotional vibrations. Today's emotional vibration that we are fine-tuning happens to deal a lot with yoga, and my sister just spoke about it in Kaye recently. It is called balance. What a concept, huh? What an idea. But for anyone who doesn't know, I want to say if you are a listener or an onlooker, love, an individual who looks at or supports this podcast, you are officially a love. I call all my listeners, subscribers, and supporters loves. You are a part of a thing called love culture. And if you are listening to this podcast, hello on everywhere it can be streamed. Thank you so much for giving us your non-refundable time and energy. We promised it will be an investment and not an expenditure. For anyone on looking, I want to say thank you for tuning in on YouTube, especially all the love culture subscribers on Instagram, on Patreon, all of y'all. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And I love you. And you will see two beautiful women with all this her if you happen to on look. But Raise It Up Why is the place and the space where OGs kick game to real ones only. All right. This is where we raise it up. What is it? Your self-awareness, your vibrations, why we are fine-tuning this whole year. Vibrations get raised up, and your capacity for love, which is just knowledge. You can't love that which you don't know. The more you know, the more you can love. That includes yourself. That includes your partners. That includes everything that goes on inside, around, and outside of you. Right? So that's what we do on this podcast. Every single one of these episodes, we end up starting with grounding. So we're going to do that today. Of course, there's no exceptions on this episode. I want to make sure that we invite you into this space and that we separate the energy from wherever you were before and settle you into what you're doing right now. And when we ground this space, we do it with a little poem. If you are listening, loves, please keep your eyes open. If you are driving, especially. If you are in a relaxed space or you just need a reset, things are kind of going cattywampus, as mom would say, in your world. It's been a lot and you're looking for a little refuge, just a little time for yourself. And that's why you know you come to Love Culture and you know you tune into this podcast, Raise It Up Why. I invite you to close your eyes in that case. All right? I want you to spend a moment and be here with me. Take in the sound of my voice. Go ahead and feel your feet. And to prove that you are spacing yourself deep at the root of you and your feet, go ahead and wiggle your toes. Keep that awareness down there and feel it flow through the top of you. And if you can, touch your nose. And you're just doing that to recognize you are here, as we do in Kaya Yoga. Let's have a breath in. Breathe it in. Blow that breath out. Do that once again, in through your nose and out through your mouth. Just take a moment to own this, the miracle that we call life, that you are living and winning just by being in this life. Hey, just by spending this time with my voice right now, you're investing into your betterment. I'd like you to sit with that and feel proud. And let's go up, ladies and gentlemen. Why not? Yes, yes.
Yes.
Wendi Vaughn.
My sister.
We getting right into a get raised.
Okay.
You are the OG that is raising us.
Oh, okay.
Yellow. Even though you look 27. No. Wendi is somebody's 17-year-old trapped in like board of directors body. I don't know. It's like she like runs Cal State LA Los Angeles. She's been literally recognized by the city of Los Angeles. If you're watching this, you can see right behind her, literally like she's her. Your favorite thing? Mahogany gift card. So, Wendi, how do you balance your sexy with your sporty? Ooh.
Oh.
That was a Whitney moment.
I know.
You were just Whitney right now.
I didn't know. How do I balance my sexy with my sporty?
That's my fun way of talking about your masculine and your feminine.
Thank you. Okay.
She was like, oh my God, I don't even have no chucks.
No, Wyann, I was really about to say, well,
I live with you. No.
I was like, I like certain outfits that are my kibby body style is.
I took the pictures, so I'm getting ready to do that. I'm scared. Sorry.
Okay. No, so my masculine and feminine energy, that's what we've been talking about. And I balance those by, I think that I like being naturally submissive, naturally to sense and, but there can sometimes be, a sureness about things that in those moments, I definitely would have to say that I have to erect my masculine energy.
Come on, erect.
No
Do
fun
fun things with the edits here. No, listen with me. No, continue.
So yeah, I mean, some of the traits of masculine energy are being decisive, structure, a lot of focus and clarity, whereas feminine energy is more dynamic and creative and open and surrender, submissive.
Right.
And, so women and feminine energy has nothing to do with being male or female or identifying as male or female.
Right.
It's something that occurs in each and every one of us.
Yes.
And when you are at your healthiest of mind, body, and spirit, that is when they're balanced.
Nice. How do you keep your balance?
I keep my balance by definitely doing the yoga, definitely finding stillness every day in some way, even if it's 10 minutes or 3 minutes, depending on how busy I am. Just observing my thoughts too, making sure that it's a lot of introspective, just feeling. And then I can also play off of my exterior to my interactions with like my coworkers, the students that I mentor, and my family, of course, because sometimes, you don't know how you're feeling until you say something kind of subconsciously, not thinking. And sometimes you say things that, you go, oh man, like, why did I say that? Like, I know better. But that was your trueness of heart in that moment. And so, so sometimes speaking, to other people and actually, that's how you know what's going on in your heart. Mm-hmm. So,
no, go on with what you were about to say.
Yeah, no, I was just saying that's how I balance, because when you're talking to other people, you always say it takes two to know one.
True.
So as, you're hearing yourself, if you're paying attention and being aware, and that's the thing. So, I mean, it's kind of like everything is everything. And you hear people in the spiritual community nowadays, and even in, a lot of religious walks of life, talking about things that used to be considered new agey. But being tapped in to yourself and being mindful is not new agey. It's actually something that probably has needed to happen for a long time. One of the reasons we're seeing some of the shifts in our society right now is because traditionally, especially we can speak from being here in LA, in America, the United States, it's a traditional patriarchal, male-dominated society. But we're seeing more voices that have traditionally been more submissive, more subjugated. Actual women's voices, or people who identify as women's voices, coming to the forefront. Just that shift alone is a balance in its own way on, a national level, if you were going to say of energy. Yeah. And that is because whenever something is panned really hard left for a long time, there's going to be some effort factor that's trying to push back in the other direction. Yeah. Cause and effect. Yeah. And so you feel that in yourself a lot of times. You may not always realize that's what's going on, that's the battle or the journey, Battle would be more of a masculine
Wendi.
word.
No, the second you said that, I'm like, battle. And then when you said journey, it gave me a different feeling.
Yeah. But it is it's this push and pull. Push would be more of a masculine because it's a positive energy. I mean, really, like it pushes itself and imprints itself out. Whereas a pull, you're like bringing it in, like a more of a submission, which is more of a thing that is associated with feminine energy.
Literally thinking about sex right now, and in sex, think about masculine, intimate body parts.
Right.
They protrude.
Yeah.
It's exterior.
Right.
When creating a baby, when procreation is occurring, something shoots out from the man. A woman is concaved. She's the receiver. Like all of her happenings is happening inside, internally. How all my niggas with weak pull-out game when that little pre-cum just happened to sit on her. Do you know what the Wendi loves when I talk like this? This is my sporty versus her sexy right now. And I said pre-cum. Wendi said parched. No.
Wow.
She's like, this got deep. No pause necessary. Hallelujah. Anyways, no. What the actual vagina does do though is it pulls in. Anything that's sitting right there, it's everything is kind of like like the ocean and the tide. Everything is ebb and a flow and a pushing in. A give and a take, ebb and a flow, wax and a wane. But for vaginal walls, this is sex ed for anybody who hasn't had it. If your pull-out game is weak and the pre-cum was the only thing that got on her, yes, you can still get her pregnant, because if there was semen or sperm, active sperm within that pre-cum, and her vagina by design pulls things in. Yeah, it can say, no, I got one of your kids. No. All right, now I'm famous with you. What? That is boom, I'm famous with you.
That is hilarious. But I didn't know that you were gonna go to that. Yes.
That went quickly, yes. And like some dudes, badoom. No.
Oh.
My bad, y'all. My bad. I had coffee.
No. But no, I mean, okay, so in like the body, the sacral chakra houses all of our sexual desires, the actual passion part of us lives there. Creation lives there.
Chakra 2, yes?
Chakra 2, balanced or represented by the color orange.
Yes.
The thing with that is creation energy is also healing energy, because it's creating it. I mean, sex to have sex, like you said, is to procreate. It's to create. So there is everything you just said. Absolutely is represented in that push and pull.
Yeah.
So when it comes to how I actually balance it, it's like I know who I am for my own self. Like certain women have naturally more feminine energy in them. Some women have naturally more masculine energy in them. Same thing with men. Some men just naturally have more feminine energy, and some naturally have more masculine energy. Yeah. That's just who they are. So it's important that you don't try to put on or be something that you're not, to be more macho or you know what, I gotta take charge. So I'm gonna try to talk and be like this because that's what I see. It's like there's a lot of power, in all the power, first of all, is in being who you are.
Period.
And knowing who I am is what allowed me to understand my balance. Like that's what I'm trying to get to. My balance of my feminine, masculine energy, and how I honor that is based on me knowing who I am. And not everybody I notice understands that. So, for instance, I'll give an example.
Please do.
If some women who get promoted to certain positions in their job.
Okay.
Let's say it's a male-dominated place.
Yeah.
They may take on more traits that seem manly.
Yep.
even how they dress, how they talk, you know, you sometimes even see it's like normally in meme culture or like reels where women will say things like, you know what, suck my dick.
Yeah.
You know, and they're normally in positions like where they're talking, you know, sometimes to be funny, but sometimes when they're serious, they're talking like that because that's what men say.
Yeah.
And that's how men are respected, and they want that same type of respect. Now, if that comes natural to any women out there, I'm not trying to like judge anybody or anything like that. I know that for me, because you said, how do I balance my masculine, feminine energy? That wouldn't be the way I would say something like that.
Right.
Right?
Because that's not being true to who you are. Contrastly. No, I'm. If anyone was looking, my face was funny. But no, I'm saying that because I'm even listening to you talk. I'm listening to this conversation. And I'm sort of like metacognition. I'm almost metacognitively. That was a TG in. All those were weird. Metacognitively.
Go ahead.
Listening to this conversation while we're in this conversation. So I'm trying to be present, but also step out and see how this conversation can sound. And just like you talked about with just the way that the world is right now, especially like a social media or just media world, everything is very sensitive. Everything is very feminine energy dominant in a way, or aware. Let me say aware. It's very feminine energy aware, meaning how words impact listeners is taken into greater consideration today than yesteryear, right? And I'm listening to all of us in this moment, and I feel compelled to say what I think loves and love culture already know, which is we are speaking from our lens from which we live. We are speaking from the lens that we experience life. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I say that to say, it's October, right?
Yeah.
In the same way, if this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, it would be a little weird for people to start screaming, hey, but there's lung cancer and there's prostate cancer. It's like, yep. And that is still going on. And it is still October, which is Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Right.
In that same way, what we're talking about, I just feel like there's a disclaimer that needs to happen right now where your lived experience is valid. Whoever you are,
right?
Whoever you identify as, whatever walk of life from whence you came, it is valid and important. With that being said, my sisters, and I'll be talking on here, talking shit all day. But now I'm like looking here with you and I'm sensitive. I think I feel that's, I guess, my feminine.
Oh, protective.
Okay, it's my masculine. Haha. But I feel protective because you're using technically and absolutely correct terminology. But I think that someone, if they are misaligned, and that's why I'm placing the onus back on the listener, back on the onlooker. If you are not hearing love and respect, know that that is what you are hearing and not what we are kicking.
Right.
We only speak, we are both edutainers. We both have master's degrees. We both work with multitudes and myriads of people. You know what I'm saying? We love almost to a fault. We love everybody. Almost, I'm thinking of Shoka. We love the person that's snapping at us. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I love you, but from here. You know what I'm saying? So I'm only saying that because as my sister is speaking, I just had a Wyann. Wyann. Say it. A meta cognitive moment. Thank you. I make mistakes. We all do. You fix what you can, pray it falls through. No, I'm messing with you. But no, that's from my album. If anybody doesn't know, I'm a singer. Yay. Somebody literally just said, "Oh my God, you sing?" I just told Boomer
wow.
that. I know. I building your brand is a bunch of reintroductions.
It's a bunch of reintroductions. Absolutely.
I've just kind of learned that. So I'm like, I'm not singing enough. Okay. You know what I'm saying? In my head, that's how I feel.
Depending on where you are, where people receive you and meet you.
Yes.
You know, you have a couple of different things that you do well.
Yes. And that's how we gonna do that. But no, I just wanted to say that please, when you are in any world where you see a WLV, a Wayne, Wanda, Wayne, Wendi, Wyann, Whitney, or Warren, Vaughn, and we're going to cover Malik and that too, and Marlene, hello. If you are anywhere where you see a member of my family, we are speaking from a space of love and respect. It's almost understood.
Yes.
So just know that everything my sister is saying is coming from her experience, which is a valid experience, just as much as whoever you are listening is also having a very valid experience in your life. I just needed to say that.
Yes.
Just me personally.
You know, we are, at the end of the day, our own textbook. So everything I share is from a very personal place.
Yes.
I don't, we can't live anybody else's lives but our own.
Yeah.
And we can definitely get some ideas and pointers from what other people are doing. But that is not to say our walk is wrong.
Never.
Yeah.
Just the same way, anybody listening, your walk isn't wrong either. But like we say, what do you say? You're okay, I'm okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like everybody's fine. Fine. No. But I was gonna ask you to sing too, because the last time you were here, you sang something, and everybody, they love your voice.
I don't know what I'd sing this time. I can't think of anything.
Okay, even if you just covered something.
All right, well, I'll think of it.
You think of it? Okay. I'll give you time to that. Okay. How do you manage your time when everything is important?
How do I manage my time when everything is important? So, number one, time sensitivity. That's just like a very white and black way to do it.
Okay.
If there's a task or something that's coming up, even if I don't feel like doing it, because I'm a very feeling-based person, which is another feminine trait, but I do help run an office, at a university, and I have a lot of responsibilities, and there are certain things that come up, and that has to take precedence over the thing that I might want to do more, even, a week from then. Mm-hmm. So due dates, that clearly can help me prioritize. After that, though, when it's all like for my own stuff, I'm building a business as well, and I'm like, I get to say what's important when, and, I guess it would be more of an intuition. It's more of an inspiration of what is the logical next step. When you are doing things that don't require the input of a boss or somebody else, like imprinting like their deadlines on you.
Right.
It's just your thing. It can sometimes go, all right, so what is the next step? Like, where do I go from here?
Yeah.
When you're in those kind of places, and let's say you have to, I'm trying to give a good example. Like, let's say that let's say you want to build your website. Let's say that you have to write a song and you want to, take a class or something like that.
Right.
And these are all quadrant 2 things. Quadrant 2 being the stuff that takes that extra bit of slowdown. It's not a crisis. It's not like it's about to, explode in your face right then and there. But it's stuff that takes another kind of time. So when you finally get into that place, you have to go, well, what makes the most sense for the trajectory of what it is that I'm trying to do? Like, is building my website right now going to really benefit me that much more?
Right.
Or is building this skill set and being a more effective communicator, is that a better thing to like do at this precise moment? Like, how am I connecting to my fans? How am I connecting to the people that I'm talking to? If it's not your website, if they're all on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, then that might be at that precise moment the better place to put your attention for that. Maybe not the website, but then maybe go back and learn how to set up a YouTube channel or something like that. Like I'm trying to give these different examples, but I guess the point is when you really kind of just sit still and go, what's the next logical step right this second? Mm-hmm. That normally is what, for me at least, what unravels what's the most important. Because sometimes it's also based on where I'm going to have the most stick-to-itiveness, like what excites me the most. Sometimes, so let's say you're in another state where you're less clear. Let's say you're coming out of like writer's block.
Yeah,
or
for
just
sure.
some sort of stuckness. Those moments, everything feels like a chore. Like even doing something very simple, like just, I just don't feel like it. And those times, I think, and sometimes that can be because everything is important. It feels overwhelming.
Yeah.
It's like everything is right here and I don't know where to start.
Yeah.
And that can sometimes be, so in those kind of times, then you go with that one thing that can kind of bring you the most joy just to get started moving on something.
Yes.
That's basically how I don't know if I've answered the question.
It's like a sitting still, meditating, being in tune.
Yes.
And aligning yourself.
It's definitely being in tune. Like what I've learned is what emerges to be the most important, because like the steps are already there.
Yeah.
But if you're not in a clear place in yourself, everything can bunch up and it can just be like overwhelm. And in those times, trying hard to work at doing something and you feel unclear, you will spin your wheels.
Yeah.
You won't make progress. No. You'll grow frustrated because you're going into it with anxiety or self-doubt.
Yeah.
You're not sure about all this stuff. It's better to not touch any of the stuff that feels so important and go for a walk. It's actually better to just do something, anything, put on a comedy.
Right.
Go to a movie, get together with a friend that, brings you joy. You have to get out of the funk. So that's why, it's sometimes when you ask these questions, it depends on where I am to what is the next step. Like, what is the most important thing? If I'm not in a good, clear-headed space, then I don't touch work. Now, if I'm at work and I feel that way, it's a little different because the care factor isn't so deep, like it's more of a syllabus.
Yes.
We were just talking about 44 billion, dude. We were just talking about this earlier. When you have a syllabus in front of you, like this is why I excelled in school, because
Same.
I knew exactly what to do.
It's paint by numbers at that point.
There was no way I wasn't going to win because I knew the path.
Yep.
When you graduate from high school and college and your master's program, now you got your doctorate, so there's no more school for you.
No, I did. That's why I don't know about you, but that's why I haven't gotten a doctorate, because it's like, bro, I know I'm going to win. I know I can win that game. I want to do something that I want to challenge myself. I don't want to, bro, I can get an EDD, a PsyD, a doctorate of sociology, and with my fucking eyes closed.
I think that the thing is, it's about what you want to do. And a lot of, there are certain industries where you have to have a certain piece of paper and you won't be recognized without it. True. So in those cases, and this is the thing you really want, this piece of paper is actually prohibiting you from moving forward.
I see.
But for what it is that I believe you want to do, that is more of a, maybe like an ego booster, like to make you feel more confident. Yeah. And Mel Robbins talks a lot about this. She's a public speaker, author, amazing woman, and she's gone through her bouts with ADHD and anxiety and all kinds of things. So when she coaches people through whether or not what they're doing is something that actually needs to be done, nowadays, making $1 million isn't as difficult as it used to be.
Nope.
Because people do it more often. It's more like of a tangible idea, like beyond just the lotto and like a couple of people or for a couple of businesses. Like it's more, you can replicate it.
Yes.
And it's really based on skills. Like to me, the community colleges, they teach you they give you the opportunity to acquire short-term certificates that teach you actual skills on how to do something.
I agree. I know that wouldn't be a popular.
I mean, I'm an educator and I work at a four-year university, but it is a more practical university. My education was a bit more geared toward, research and
Theoretical.
way more theoretical, which was why, I could be in my upper chakras. All, just so you know, the 3 lower chakras are masculine energy, and the heart chakra is where they meet. And then the other chakras, your throat, your third eye, and of course your crown, those are feminine chakras. So if you find yourself kind of like ruminating in your mind a lot and just very thought heavy, that overthinking and being over analytical is considered a masculine energy trait. But when you are, just very cerebral, that can be you stuck up here in your third eye and not into action.
Goodness.
Action is a masculine trait, which is something I'm working on. Action with a plan, because you need to have the plan. But the plan comes by getting still.
Yes.
And being for a second. So I have really embraced ease. And I just wrote a post about it. I didn't even realize that it got like so many people resonated with it.
The one from today.
Was that today?
The speak one.
That was the manifestation. So no, it was about ease. It was just a weekend post. And I said, I hope you all find ease this weekend. And I'm happy that I did. I've learned how to it was on Facebook. Oh. I use Facebook more.
How I have a following on Instagram, I think is how Wendi has a following on Facebook. She actually gets way more. But that's kind of even indicative of you are a writer. You are a fuck of a writer since you were a kid. You've always, from her songs, her poetry was published in newspapers when we were like in second grade. That was second grade?
Miss Forbes' class.
A 7-year-old was published in our newspaper it was the poetry, right?
I have a tale to tell. Mm-hmm.
That wasn't poetry then. That was an essay.
It was poetry. The one about a friend, like what is a good friend?
Oh, you did it like that. Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Right? It was a poem.
Now I'm forgetting.
I was just going to say
it was a poem, and it was about what makes a good friend. And I talked about a couple of things, and I used a real life example.
And that was Miss Forbes. But didn't for Red Ribbon Week, didn't you get something too when we were growing?
I think that was just because I didn't do 11 though. That's because I didn't do drugs. It was for Red Ribbon Week. I forgot what we did.
I'll be quiet. She said that was no.
No, we don't. No. What is she talking about?
No. But
sugar is a drug. I'm playing it. Caffeine is a drug.
I am.
Why I should have.
But no. I love what my sister is saying because, well, I was going back to the fact that you're a writer. She's an amazing writer. So being on Facebook is, in my opinion, a more blog styled form of social media. People who are writers and people who are readers get more of their rocks off on Facebook.
It's also an older generation. It's an older demographic.
And those are the people, for all the young people like, oh my God, Facebook, them is all the niggas that buy shit because they have money to buy shit. And you are not, even as a business, you're not even official if you don't have a Facebook page as well.
Yes, they actually have changed a lot of things in the algorithm to make your business page pop more. Because I've been getting impressions that are like in the thousands, like regularly. And that wasn't happening before this new upgrade or whatever they've done. So, I mean, I kind of took a backseat to a lot of the things that I was doing because I had to get still. I realized after the whole health journey, which I know I shared it on your last podcast.
Yeah. That was episode. Whitney was 22, so I think Wendi was 21. I think I did you guys back to back.
Oh, okay.
If I'm not mistaken, in 2020. Okay. So look for Wendy's episode. Should have been. I'm looking for the month right now. I can't see the month. It could have.
It was during the summer.
I think it was September.
Okay.
Because it was still hot as hell.
Late September, which September we have those Indian summers. Woo!
So I think Wendi was September. So therefore, I think Whitney might have been. No, you're right. You were August and Whitney was September. You want to know why? We recorded the day Auntie went to the hospital.
For Whitney? Wow.
And the next day.
Wow, I didn't know that.
So that happened all right there. Whitney had on the yellow, and she had just graduated she had her nursing stuff up here.
Yes.
And everything. So, and we recorded on the day Mama passed on 9/17 that year.
Wow.
And then the next day is exhibit and Auntie Pam's birthday. And that was the day Auntie Pam had her legacy day. So yeah, we are real family. And can you see this? Did it work? Or you can't see it good? Oh, okay. So if you're looking looking above us, I thought I was crafty and I put the word family above us. So love me. But anyways, yes, my sister is a great writer. She gets a lot of her impressions on Facebook. However, with the community of loves and a bunch of the stuff that I think she's maybe been learning on using the I Am Wendi with an I page on Instagram, she's cultivated this I almost did it. Kaye.
Okay.
This Kaye space, hashtag CAYAY Black girl, female yogi. That was redundant, girl, but the yogi. Why was KA important for you to start Come As You Are Yoga? Why was that important for you to start? What do you want people to gain from it?
Well, I mean, looking at it now from a reflective place, if you would have asked me that when I first started it, I was like, well, I just, some people had asked me if I would, help them learn yoga. And I didn't have a lot of space here. And one person in particular comes to mind, but it was a couple of people. And I said, well, let me start doing something on Zoom. So I knew I was going to start. I told you it was going to be sometime in May.
In May, yep.
I waited to the last day because I was having this resistance. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I had this it was supposed to work in a different fashion, even if you remember. I was like, okay, I'm going to send everyone the link. I'm just thinking people have multiple freaking devices like we do.
Oh, no.
I was like, we're all going to just basically start it at the same time. Because the thing is, I'm not a yoga instructor. I do home-based yoga, and I've been doing it for almost 10 years.
Yes.
And that's a big part of how I got healthy, like how I got, from, remission of cancer and got back on my feet. And so I learned a lot of things. I've learned a lot of things in the mind-body medicine, which is functional medicine, but it's mind-body medicine type of modalities of healing. It's a lot of things, like I guess you could say therapy.
Yeah.
But
like physical therapy, low-key.
It's physical therapy because what we talk about with the meditation, so it's like you have your Western medicine, but you have your doctors, your surgeries, your prescribed, treatments. That is very important for our health and wellness. It has a place. And for people who want to do everything holistically, and prayer works, God, however, also laid hands and gave doctors, an anointing.
Yeah, a gift, anointing.
And a wisdom to know what to do with medicine and in the right measure. It is life-saving when you're in those circumstances of acute disease.
And she can speak from experience on that.
Yes.
Not just talking.
No, I had to get an ileostomy surgery. I still have that ileostomy bag ever since 2014, the same year that all of that happened. And that was all due to Crohn's disease, which is a digestive condition that affects the entire digestive tract. It's a chronic condition. Yeah. So then, as I got better, later that same year of the surgery, I ended up finding out that I had an acute stage 4 lymphoma with like a tumor on my bladder.
That's cancer.
Yeah, that's cancer. So, I ushered in my 34th birthday getting chemo treatments, at Cedars-Sinai. Yeah. So lost all my hair. So all the different changes that I was going through at that time, man, I was being sat down, which I think in its own way, COVID was a huge cancer for the world and sat everybody down.
Yes.
Because when you sit down, when you get still, when you just stop, there are certain things that come in I mean, even if we just, like when I said stop, like there was the air has I don't know if you heard that, but the answers to all the questions and wonderings and desires, the answers are literally right on the other side of the resistance that we normally are the ones putting up.
Yeah.
So dis-ease is the non-allowance of the ease. So when I say I embrace ease, like that's something that I had to journey to understand that just right now, in this moment, this is okay.
Yeah.
Just going to the beach.
Yeah.
I mean, like we all have these different things that we tell ourselves we have to do all the time. But when you really get still and quiet and look at it, some of that stuff isn't really your responsibility. It's not really something you have to do.
No.
But separating who you really are from all of the prescriptions that people have put on you, that takes time.
Yeah. Yeah.
That takes time. And it's not easy because you end up having to put up these boundaries, these benign boundaries that really allow you to breathe, which she just did.
Literally.
And to be. So the most beautiful energy or trait of feminine energy is being.
Yes.
Whereas the masculine energy is doing. And I always say the doing comes from the being.
Yes, it does.
The doing,
I hear that.
The doing, when you're truly doing what is in your purpose, it comes from being. And so I guess that would be the longest answer in the world to why is come as you are yoga important?
Well, damn yes. Number one, from a professional doer, the fuck? I had to learn my to be space. And like you say, that's more feminine energy. But in a lot of the last in all of 2022, that has been a on purpose focal point to really sit and rest into my feminine energy. I just wanted to, we've been talking about balance all this time and we never defined it. I'm big on that as the edutainer side of us.
Yeah.
But also just so we all listening and active in this conversation.
To define the word balance?
Just to define the word balance, as Google would say, an even distribution of weight in life. Energy, mass, ebb, flow, weight, enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. Say that again. Why? Balance, as defined by Google, is an even distribution of weight, enabling someone or something to remain upright and steady. A few weeks ago, sessions ago in the Kaye yoga with Wendi, we ended up talking about the word home. And home is such a founding word. And I usually find my home in a founding word like family. However, when Stephen Covey talks about living a principle-based life and why he talks about living a principle-based life, he says, you want to make sure that you live your life based on principles so that you don't try to make your home, you don't found yourself on the back of someone else or in any relationship, because in every relationship, you are responsible to another person to show up, to be present, to participate, to, ebb and flow with the energy of the, the dyad, or try it however many, if it's a family, then it's like multi dynamic and things like that. But you want to set yourself deep in principles so that you're always being responsible to the relationship, but not for. You want to be responsible to people, not for people. Wendi knows one of the reasons a lot of our friends, I don't like to go out when everybody is drinking, because as the sober person, people will make me a designated driver of a big ass truck that I never have driven that big. Yes, we're talking about a situation, and I still love everybody. I hope if that person and these people are listening, I love y'all. But y'all wonder why I never went back out with all of us. That's why. You know what I'm saying? Like I just have the responsibility for my friends because they've placed themselves in situations where I told you one of our homegirls, a dude was like, she was gone and dude was like feeling on, and I'm the one that's sober. I'm seeing this and I move this dude's hand. We're in Las Vegas. I'm moving this dude's hand. I'm like, hey, don't touch her. He said, what you gonna do? I said, nigga, what the fuck you gonna do, my nigga? And I turn around where I usually would have my homeboys who are also now inebriated and drunk. And they don't see nothing. Everybody is so, yeah, fucking laissez-faire, whatever, yeah. Everyone was black, so no one really talked like that, by the way. But I'm just saying.
That was the vibe.
Everyone was so in the vibe. I was the only one aware of what was going on. So I know that my homegirl shouldn't be getting her vagina felt on in a club by a random dude. So when he's putting his hand up her actual thigh and I smack the shit out of his hand.
I can't believe this.
Yeah, this happened.
Wow.
So, but that's why I don't go out with people who aren't responsible for themselves.
I mean, neither.
I fucking will never do that shit again because I almost got in a whole fight with a grown man.
Yeah.
And nobody else would, I mean, if anybody would have even seen it, they would have been like, wait, what? Who's fighting? Wait, how? Here I done stuck my neck out. Mm-hmm. You understand? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, that's an extreme example, but it's a really it's a real example of why it's smart to, when you think of the word home,
right?
Why you should find yourself, I guess, be founded in principles as opposed to relationships, or not that relationships are bad. I hope that doesn't sound crazy or whatever.
It's about being codependent.
Is that what I'm doing?
It's about being interdependent.
Yeah.
Not enmeshed.
Yeah.
And not codependent. I mean, well, codependency is being enmeshed and not so independent that you don't know how to take the help of somebody else and how to integrate and be able to be a team.
Yeah, right.
So, but that's a principle that you learn. You're absolutely right. Because the other word that I like to use is anchor. Like, I went through a breakup earlier this year, and some of the things that I've learned about it, like it was like this, just like this vibe, just like it was like just anchoring to yourself, and it wasn't so much anchoring to myself, like the flesh, me person, Wendi. It was like anchoring to the God in Wendi.
Damn right, Wyann.
It was really a deep, and it was just like, I mean, things got really still. I love the garden. I was walking, just like making sure my feet touched the ground, wherever, just touch the ground. Because that's like so much that we get when we get to slow down and do those kind of things. Working in the garden, cooking for yourself, touching the vegetables. And it does something for you, mind, body, spirit. So anyways, just taking care of yourself and grounding into that energy, it really does bring a different kind of healing to you that nothing else will. And I think for me, there's a lot of principles emerge from that, like you said, because when you talk about Stephen Covey, stuff like starting with the end in mind and seek first to understand, then be understood. When you do that one, oh my goodness, so much. You don't take things personally, and then that goes into the 4 agreements. Don
Miguel Ruiz,
which I know you covered on the show. So like these kinds of, you had the book on something.
I can't believe I told myself to do it next, and I didn't. So you just held me accountable to something.
Girl, I thought I saw the book, so I just knew you had.
No, I have the book because that's what I was gonna do. We ended up doing the 5 love languages.
Oh, you did?
I did the 5 love languages first, and I told myself to do that one in this year. Totally forgot. So, you know what we'll do next year? Yeah.
And I mean, it's so funny. Even when you said the love languages, like so many people are so eager to know how they're gonna find love and what's going on with like love. Like, they need and want and seek that other relationship. And it's a beautiful thing. There's a different way that you go about that when you really have a true relationship with self, a healthy relationship with yourself.
Oh, wait, no, stop. Okay, why it's important to join KA, Come As You Are Yoga, Black Girl emoji, yogi. It's really important because for the professional doers, AKA Wyann, AKA the boss, all you boss CEOs, go-getter, get-her-dones, hustlers, gangsters, all you niggas that do, all of you, niggas of all kind, colors, shapes, creeds, genders, all of y'all. From the being can come the doing. But if you're not a professional beer, you think you're a human doing as opposed to a human being. If you don't tend, I'm telling on myself, if you don't tend to the being, the doing at some point will dry up or become unfruitful. Mm-hmm. You will be doing in all directions and completing some stuff that has influence.
Or burnout.
Or you will burn yourself the fuck out. Kaye is important. Come As You Are Yoga is important. To join, you want to make sure that you are in a mindset to tap into the stillness of being, which is a more feminine energetic trait, which I think is a peaceful space. I think that peace comes from that space as well. And it's an energizing and a healing space. So Wednesday nights, usually 7:30 p.m. on the West Coast. Some will call the best coast, I do. Or Saturdays, 11 a.m. She even does a morning one, knowing I don't even like the mornings. It's so crazy that she didn't consider me. She's supposed to be responsible for me. It's not true. I'm playing right now. So let me not mess up her commercial. Kaye, Black Girl, Yogi emoji. Yoga with I Am Wendi with an I. Every Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. West Coast time. Saturdays, 11 a.m. West Coast times. If anything changes, that will be posted on at I Am Wendi with an I. Spell that how you say that. Wendi, W-E-N-D-I. Thank you. With an I. But that would be so silly if somebody put Wendi, W-I-N-D-I. I would be, but I'm sure there's somebody in the world that's their name. So respect to that Wendi. That's not this Wendi. You had to dig me. But before I let you go.
On Zoom.
It's not a physical place. You don't got to go nowhere. You can be in your drawers. Well, no, you can't. Well, yeah, no, you can. However, cameras got to be on. So no, be in your drawers and some drawstrings, something. And if you are a lovely lady with lumps, give me a sports bra. Yay. We'll take all the rest of your skins, but just not your foreskins or your tit skins, your breast skins. Thank you. Your tenderloin skins.
Help me.
So that I just ruined the end of that commercial. But I want to do one thing because we're talking about balance and you talk about masculine and feminine energy. This is going to be a raise them up. This just came to me right now.
Oh.
Can you please quickly help because the most people who listen to this podcast randomly, one, LA, we LA girls, LA all day, yeah. Glendale, really, but don't worry about that. If you ain't from here, you don't even know what that means. Yeah. So we're LA based, huge following in New York.
Okay.
Like the numbers are like, it's almost like New York is like, yeah, no, we taking y'all, we taking Wendi and Wyann from y'all. And it's like, wait, don't do that. But I will be in New York when this is coming out. However, I'm saying that because with all of those listeners and onlookers that are loves, 83% of you are male.
Okay.
Or identify as man, male, masculinized, and things like that. Because I definitely, I got my 1% binary. I got him or her back. I got y'all back, they back. So thank you, my non-binary. I'm happy that you're back with me. Because I was like, I lost my non-binary listener. And then they came back. Literally, they came back. So, love you, love. Here, I want to get into a raise 'em up. Can you explain mansplaining? No, I want her to explain this because there are a lot of gentlemen listeners. Ladies, I also, I just feel like Lady Loves, go ahead and take a back seat real quick. Just, hang. We had a whole lot of feminine energy in the pot, in front of this pod. Wendi, help our listeners understand, and onlookers, what is mansplaining in your world? How would you define it? How does it affect your interactions with a gentleman?
In my interactions, mansplaining has been when men are explaining something to you as though you don't know what it is, and something that you've already shared with them. And then they reify it, not to seek understanding, but to tell you what something is, almost as if they didn't really hear you. That is what I've seen it as, and then they continue to go over and over and over and over.
Also from Google, the definition of mansplaining is an explanation of something by a man, typically to a woman, in a manner regarded as condescending or patronizing.
Okay, so I was giving, some, characteristics of the types of the on and on and on and on. That's like a trait of like that.
That's what it looks like.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah. In case you don't know if you're doing it. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I mean, so it's basically like, I remember one time I was watching an episode of Grey's Anatomy, and in the episode of Grey's Anatomy, it was covering how female heart attacks do not present with the same symptoms as heart attacks that affect men. And the chief of surgery of this place was having a heart attack. She was a woman. And she went to another hospital to not alarm the people at her hospital where she worked. That chief of surgery was a man. And he was telling her that she wasn't having a heart attack.
Yeah.
He did all of the tests because he wanted the facts, black and white. Is this a heart attack? It didn't pop up on any of the tests. The entire episode was demonstrating that women heart attacks don't present the same. So they don't show up on the test the same way. All the stuff you would normally do.
Right.
It was passing as though she wasn't having a heart attack. And before, of course, he's discharging her. And of course, she has a heart attack. And then at that moment, he goes, oh, she is having a heart attack. So I'm watching this episode with, the man at the time. And he goes, oh, yeah, well, see, he begins to go into a mansplaining of why she was wrong or why the man was right in still sending her home. And I was like, but you do understand that this entire episode is it's a teachable moment. Like, they are teaching us that this is why people need to treat women differently when it comes to heart attacks, because they don't this is exactly,
it presents differently.
Yeah.
In women.
And he stuck to this black and white. Well, I would have done the same thing. I'm like, you would have done the same thing even after seeing this episode that is giving you some light.
It's entertaining.
This is different.
Yeah.
This wasn't him trying to say. Then I was like, okay, this is me trying to be considerate. I was like, maybe he's saying if he never saw this episode that he would have thought that way. Okay. No. He was still arguing for stupidity at that point, because anyway, it was, but that was me putting a judgment on it. But what I'm saying is he was trying to mansplain something in a condescending way that was actually worse than he wasn't right. He was still wrong.
Yeah. And it said condescending, and condescending is when someone gives an explanation with a air of superiority or like you are beneath me. That's condescension, the feeling of condescension. And I just looked up patronize just to make sure I was saying it right. To treat in a way that is apparently kind, but that kindness is betrayed by a sense of superiority. That's the definition of to patronize something. Not to be confused with patronizing as if you are patronizing a business. You are giving, you are becoming a client of a business. I'm talking about in the number one way per Google. You know what I'm saying? So when a mansplain ends up happening, mind you, Wendi just gave a predicament from a black man to a black woman. I want to give you an explanation of mansplaining from a white woman to a black woman. My doctor, when my fibroid was growing to no end within me, I'm explaining to her something doesn't feel right within me. I've been in my body at the time 34 years. I said something is not going right. I work out very consistently. I know, I just know how I feel. And all of my feelings were denied. And she sent me to a woman, a human in a space of superiority, heard me, would reiterate what she had said the last time I told her that, and send me to every screening that wasn't an ultrasound.
Right.
And I had asked for an ultrasound.
Yes.
Sent me to an x-ray, sent me to a dietitian, a nutritionist, an internalist. All of this, I'm spending money. And it got to October 2016. And I said, you know what happened? A singer, I don't know if she wants me to put her business out there, but an amazing singer, my girl, thank you so much for putting this brave post on Facebook, had just gotten a surgery from her fibroid and was vocal about it on Facebook. I DM her, Facebook DM, whatever the fuck that's called. But I do that thing. And I said, how did you discover that you had that? She said, an ultrasound. I went back to the doctor in another email and said, I just had someone go through this. Can I get this now? I've done it your way. We've gone through all this different stuff. I'm fighting about my body. That was the point that was killing me after, in retrospect, sort of a thing. While we're going through it, she calls me. She won't put anything in writing. She calls me. She does this. She does that. And then she finally says, okay, I'll put the order through, but you have, all caps, but you have to be more consistent on following up with your health than you are about answering your phone. I'm sorry to yell. This is all in email.
Wow.
I'm sorry to yell, but you are not complying with da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. All I had was the referral. All I needed was the referral. I go see the OBGYN. She can't see the fibroid because it's so big. All she saw was the fibroid. It was at that time. It was at that time 4 pounds in me. And when they did the surgery, it was almost 6 pounds. It was basically the size of a small infant. Yeah. And this is a mansplain that did not come from a man, but it came from a person in a place of superiority. Right. And where she had the upper hand because I'm just learning all this about my body. I don't know none of this shit.
Right.
I don't know this stuff. I didn't even know what a fibroid was at the time. You know what I'm saying? And master's degree, we brilliant as shit. You know what I'm saying? And we're a healthy conscious, Wyann, we are a healthy family and a health conscious family. So it was just so to have someone continue to say what they just said to you louder as if it's different, and then continue to repeat themselves like you don't know the English language or you don't have a master's degree.
Crazy.
Or you aren't this and that. And it's just like, okay, help me understand. Just to button that story up, as I changed doctors after I recovered from my surgery and everything, one of the ladies at my care provider, on the side, she sent me a link. She said, complain.
Mm-hmm.
Go complain about her. Put in something, blah, blah, blah. She needs that on her jacket.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, yes, ma'am. A Latina, my homegirl.
You know, those are the kinds of things that, you know, people hear with their eyes. So they assume a lot just by who they're speaking to and what they think you're doing or what you're not doing.
Wow.
So they're not looking at just the facts. They see you and they're looking at the fact that, you know, she didn't answer her phone. She probably isn't that responsible. Like, you know, or the fact that you're black, this, that, whatever, how young you are, just whatever. They might look at your medical.
I live in a studio. I taught 3 classes and I was in meetings planning things for my students when I wasn't in the classroom or in the studio or in a rehearsal with mom and everybody or on stage or traveling. I'm like, you don't understand. I literally don't have time to be on a phone. I'm emailing you. Why aren't you just typing back? She didn't want it in writing.
Exactly. And they know that game. So let me tell you, the mansplaining thing, it's a real thing. It's a source of frustration for whoever, because it may not be a man necessarily, but just that principle. I like that.
The
that
balance.
Was smart.
I wanted to bring that balance to that topic. Because women can do it too.
Yeah.
But my sister has gone over the time that she said she had tonight, and I apologize because I just looked down. But the conversation was so good, and we were man. I know I'm gonna get a lot of positive feedback about this episode.
I hope. I feel like I was like, did I get to the point on some of these?
Oh,
but thank
hell
you.
yeah!
Okay,
no, you
cool.
totally did. And this would be just a button if you wanted to just sing something. I don't even know what you would want to sing.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying. You can even cover something because as long as it's you singing it, then we're not sampling. You know what I'm saying? Like, right? Boom. Like we wouldn't have to cover it if she just sang something. I would assume that. Okay.
No, I'm playing.
Wendi.
No.
She's singing a crazy song. No, it's a family outgoing message from when we were in elementary
Back
school.
when we actually had
answering machines. Oh my gosh. I love being grown.
I know, literally. We I don't know. It's a good song. I don't know.
You don't want one of your songs?
I was just thinking though. I know the words. I know I did the last one that was not
the black kids, whatever you say it is.
Not that.
No. Daddy's Little Girl. Somewhere There's a Sunny Day in the East of LA. These are all high songs.
I know.
I mean, not high for you though.
My voice is so low now.
Your voice is low. Oh, good. Okay, hold on. Now come to my world, nigga. Hold up.
Love you. I'm trying to think of a good song that I feel like singing. I don't know. I don't have one. I can't think of a song right now.
Okay.
What were you thinking?
I want to sing one of your songs then.
Okay.
Oh well, now I just did what you just did.
What?
I just went blank on the beginning of the song. Not Do You Really Love Me, babe?
I was thinking of like the me. Feels like. Oh man, I don't know. Like, you know why? Because some of these songs I haven't like had to sing in so long, so I guess I can't think of any. Okay, can you keep talking about something? At least let me look up a lyric.
Yes,
just give me 2 seconds.
She's gonna look up a lyric as if she didn't hear it, and then in the meantime, I can do a grounding poem, a poem that affirms who I am. So, this is the poem called I Am. It's the first poem in my book 13 that is available on my website at the end of this episode. I always shout it out. I am the imperfect daughter of an imperfect mother whose only perfect father loves me. I am Sojourner's follower, W.E.B.'s scholar who ain't afraid to work like Booker T. I am Miles's kind of blue, in a sentimental mood like Coltrane and Duke E. I am the best of the emotions, and the rest of me is on some Brothers Johnson type funk. So, you see, I am a collaboration of generations before me, an illustration of who stayed up in the kitchen and bore heat. I am ounces of counseling drenched in buckets of loudness, also cumulus clouds, because I'm fluffy. I am mounds of roundness, saving babies from drowning in doubt because they don't look like a Buffy. I am... Which way am I? I am my mama's wisdom, my daddy's street sense, my sister's introspection and her sweet innocence. I am as much love as a person can take who would rather build you up than to ever see you break. I am a teacher, as every person really is. And most say, man, you would like to meet her. So I hope that you did.
Yes, I am.
That's
love
I am.
that.
That's I am.
That.
I am the Wyann. And then
that.
Ooh, that's nice.
I just had got. I like that one. Oh man, the one that. Okay.
I don't think I've ever heard this.
Yeah, this is the one that Chris put some music to. He put music to both of these.
Okay. I just heard the one I was gonna do for you too.
What's your definition of a faithful man? What's your definition of a faithful plan? Just because you didn't sleep with her don't mean you didn't cheat with her. What's your definition of a faithful man? Creeping, slipping, keep me up all night. Crying, fighting, why can't you do right? You love me harder than they ever did. But not enough to take away your friends. Wow, I haven't sung this in so long.
That's crazy. I'm looking at those lyrics.
Damn.
I'm like, whoa.
So, okay. So what's your definition again? So what's your definition of a faithful man? What's your definition of a faithful plan? Just because you didn't sleep with her don't mean you didn't cheat with her. What's your definition of a faithful man? What's your definition of a faithful plan? Just because you didn't cheat with her don't mean you didn't cheat with her. What's your definition of a faithful man?
Yay! No, we always have, I feel like there's going to be a 5Z mix that comes with that. No.
What do you say?
Why Dizzle?
What's that mean?
Why Dizzle? A 5Z mix.
He writes something to it?
No, he does his Talkbox Association. Ooh, I can't wait. I'm going to snip this part out and send it to Quick. Yeah, he's going to be like, damn it, hold on. I already know how that's going to go. But Wendi, because of you, we have officially done all 3 of the segments in the episode. So now, oh yes. Oh yes. That's why I was like, well, you're already here for this. Like, we should go ahead and just razzle dazzle them. You understand me?
Oh my goodness.
All I got to do, because we did a get raised. For those who don't know, if you're new to the culture, when you get raised, when we have a get raised segment, it's when we bring an OG on and we learn from Boomer's dad, aka KK from Second to None, that an OG is an original guy or an original girl, just depending on where you come from. And I like to bring authentic, real voices onto this podcast because those are the types of voices that I would love to see or hear replicated. So you want to bring in screams, not echoes, right? Because if you bring echoes onto the pod, then it's just a copy of a copy of a copy. So now, after so many copies, I don't know if you guys remember Xerox machines, but after so many copies, you could copy some shit till it was blank.
Very true.
Hello? Don't get me on the R&B. I'm sorry. Anyways, or a lot of other topics with music. But anyways, there's going to be a day for that. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be a 9th episode. So I'm going to just let it rock. Oh my God, yes. Yeah, I know you would love that. But OGs is, Get Raised is where we bring OGs onto the podcast so that we all, myself included, can get raised. Different from that, the second thing we did with Wendi was a raise them up, where the mansplaining was explained. You know what I'm saying? So raise them up is where both of us got to edutain to the audience, and then our third segment of the day was the Douxadiddy from our cousin, Maya Smith, Deux. Whenever I put that in my stuff, it's because I'm always throwing a lob to my cousin. Yes. So I love the Do more than you knew, for sure. But we always shout them out at the end. So Maya, you sit back, relax. Ooh.
Yes.
Sit back, relax. Her thing.
Which one?
If I had the chance to let you know that I never let go.
Go be the driver and you can be the passenger.
So kick your feet up, relax, and bob your head to the beat now. This is written by my cousin Maya. As the sun goes down and you stare, feel the wind through my hair.
You a 60 and a 45 and
I don't even care, 'cause it's all right now. That's my cousin Maya Smith who wrote that. The one of the dude that I'm always promoting her stuff. She is a singer and a songwriter. Never let her fool you just because she could do some her.
I wanna be the keeper of my dreams.
That's her.
To live my life through all eternity. I can't give up, but I must. I can't sit down, but I trust. Ashes to dust.
Man, I would choose Bar Down.
This was back in...
Bro,
we were still 15. In high school or whatever. No, but that song we learned together. I wrote that one, and then she wrote that verse to "Where the Day May Go." I do not know.
Yeah, but you wrote that part. She wrote that.
Dun, dun, dun,
if I had the chance.
Heck yeah, she was cold. Rochelle Farrell. She's who first introduced us to her.
Yes, Wendi.
Yep.
Outstanding.
Yep.
That's. Wow, that you just said that, and it like a whole bunch of memories just started flooding back.
Yeah.
You're so dope. And our cousin Maya, we love you. You're so dope as well. So yes, and the Douxadiddies are whenever we bring original approaches to music or our original music right here to the pod. And we do that, one, so we can keep all of our pod episodes up and we don't have to clear none of y'all music. Hello. That's one. But number two, our lives have always been centered around being entertaining with a purpose.
Yeah.
And that purpose usually, for us at least, has always been to uplift through knowledge, which would be education.
Absolutely.
So therein lies the edutainment, sort of a feature to the Wendi and Wyann, sort of a show that we are and we do. So I would love to give you the option right now, my sister, if you would like to sit with the Wyann's words of wisdom, or I know you need to get, because you have a whole life tomorrow.
Yes, no, I don't want to be disruptive.
I didn't answer a lot of the questions while my sister was here regarding balance and my life, because I'm saving that for Wyann's words of wisdom, and this is where we at, boo. So, being a boss with a love life, how do I balance life when everything is important? That's the question. I was talking to TJ about our relationship, as both of us are entrepreneurs, as both of us are multi-dimensional humans with our own careers and things that we're into, our own personal lives, that we have different ways that we charge and recharge. We have our own sets of friends. But we also have this life together, you know? And I believe I was talking to Boomer at one point about this, where being a boss with a love life is an act of balancing life when everything is important. Trust me, we had an episode back, I think it was episode 17, the last time my baby brother from Wava Life, at Wava Life, W-A-V as in Victor, A Life, Wava Life, my baby brother Vaughn was on when he was first launching his probiotic products. And we spoke on that episode about balance. It was actually called, after Quick's album, Balance and Options, right? But why I bring that up is because in that particular episode, we talked about time management. And in time management, you were learning how to prioritize your time at all. This episode is like a fine tuning of that balance and options conversation where time is regarded, because in my personal life, in my lived experience, individual life, not my personal life, but in my whole life, I have effectively whittled down all things that are not important to be far away from me, practically removed, such that now the things that are important to me, my health, my brand, my family, my romantic relationship, my friendships, these 5 areas are the latest and last things that make me tick. With only these 5 things on my plate, though, there is still an entire 24 hours. I'm talking about, I used to obligate myself to 6 hours of sleep. And after a few TED Talks and talking to a few physicians, I have amended that. I at least get 7.5 to 9 hours of sleep per day. Why? Because if you want to burn fat and allow your body to reach a state that will re-energize, reinvigorate the workout that you did the day before and burn the calories that you think you're burning, you need that rest. Imagine taking your phone off of its charger at 89% every single day, and it always is barely making it throughout your day. You're trying to make posts when you're on 5%, do a live when you're on 11%. Your phone will act choppy. Your phone will not engage properly. You might get the task done, but your phone will be kind of assholey while it's trying to get done. That's what getting less than 7.5 hours of sleep during a working out phase of your life is like, apparently. So 7.5 to 9 hours of my day is off the map. Let's just take it with 8 because it's easier for math. 8 plus 8 plus 8 makes, 8 times 3 makes 24. So 1/3 of the day out the window because you're asleep. So 2/3 of the day, you're supposed to, Wyann is supposed to get my workout, sometimes 2 a days. Freaking, today was a 2 a day. Let's just take fucking today. 2 workouts. Prepping for this pod. doing the makeup. My assistants are not able to be here today. Set designing, posting, reminding people about the episode that's already out, putting up, what was it? What did I just do? We put up, what are you talking about? I started the day until 2:00 planning the trip to New York and getting that done so that when I go and take this show on the road, literally, I'll be all set up for things there. That took me to my Homeland Security thing. What do you call it? Global entry needed to be taken care of. I had to pay some bills today. That's a personal life thing. I got to speak to like a friend for like 2.8 seconds, as well as, dude, I'm happy that I got to cook for myself. I got 2 workouts in. I got to post. That goes on the career side. TJ came over, so I got to do my romantic part. I spoke to a member of my family, technically, because I included her in my episode. Had I not done that, I would have spoken to no members of my family, which is a no-no for Wyann. Every day I'd have to speak to one of them, you know? It's one of the things that keeps me grounded. But I just barely made it. It's already 12:11 a.m. It's the next day already. You know what I'm saying? So when I think about how to keep this bossed up life all together, bro, it gets challenging. More reason for why I do my sister's Kaye yoga, you know? Partially, what happened? It died. Ooh, the whole phone is full. It says full. I tried to take some things off too. We right here? It's still going. Yeah. Hello, this side. So I definitely attempted to, I'm trying to say, get as many things in the day as I could without compromising my sanity or my health. Because without the opportunity for being, I can't do. I was going to say my sister's platform. It's not a platform. My sister's current endeavors, creating a community for yoga online. It's really important because it's that time. Sometimes it's the only time. Yeah. Oh, sometimes it's the only time I'm able to sit and give time just to me, give energy just to me, introspect aloud with other people who are introspecting. And that is a recharge for me. That is a healing space for me. That is a time when Wyann doesn't have to have all the answers and have it all together. My sister is very, very intuitive, very creative, she really has it together when it comes to these upper chakras. And when it comes to her feminine energy, her re-energizing and her healing energies, being able to heal herself from her own lived experiences, she hones in on those skills and helps a lot of other people, like professional doers like myself, learn. She helps professional healers like myself really learn how to be, how to sit and just fucking be, bro. It's a real test for a lot of folks who are used to being in the front seat, driver's seat, in their lives and in other people's lives at large. A lot of the CEOs, COOs, and professional doers have a challenge learning how to be. It's one of the reasons why you see the most go-getting people also getting divorces, or if they have to give something up, What they give up is their marriage. They don't give up their commitment to what they feel their journey is. The reality is, for a lot of people, if you were to strip them of their professions, just like COVID did, the pandemic did, once you stripped people of their doings, a lot of individuals didn't know who the fuck they were, where their worth came from. This is the most important piece of your life, and it will be forever. I would hate for, let's just say, an athlete to have a injury that sits him or her down for the rest of their lives to learn that they never really knew themselves. I would hate for a young lady to realize after 2 and 3 kids and a few divorces, whoa, I don't know who I am when I'm not in some form of a relationship. These are the types of dips in life that I think platforms like my own, where we have these meaningful discussions in love culture, whether you're in a love lounge on Instagram, on Clubhouse. If you don't know what that means, just comment and I'll write back, let you know what that means. Being in a love lounge discussion with love culture. These are the things that we try to get people to think of and talk about now, so something in life doesn't happen to you and force you to learn about yourself. You know what I'm saying? This is a very important time. The time that I'm talking about is called now. This time called now, not just in the present, I'm talking about now, right now. You watching this, watching me look at you from my camera B as my camera A has decided to die. Me looking at you right now, or if you're listening, me talking to you right now. There are no mistakes. There are no coincidences. Everything in this life has you listening to my voice at this moment in time, right now. This is the wake-up call you needed. This is the answer to, man, should I? Yes. Yes, you should take some time off for yourself. Yes, you should rest. Yes, you should look into that PTO. Or if you don't have PTO, what are you waiting for? To get sick and then get forced to sit your ass down, but you won't be able to enjoy it because you'll just be so focused on just making sure you're alive, maintaining your health to be just okay enough. That's not it, bro. I'm sorry. That's just not it. I mean, you could think it's it, and I don't want to say that it's not. However, from where I sit, from what I understand in this lifetime of mine, you can either be the type of individual that humbles yourself to the power of now and learns how to see yourself as beautiful and worthy right here in this moment, right now, with no extras. Or you can be the person that life humbles and puts in the position to learn, hey, I'm going to take everything else from you, all the distractions called money, distractions called hoes, distractions called social media. Sometimes your biggest distraction is the fact that you got the mobility of your legs and can get up and out and run and go out everywhere else and do, and you don't sit your ass down and spend time with yourself. This is the wake-up call that you were looking for or not looking for. Please be aware. When everything is important, really you have to just look in any direction and there will be a task to fulfill. Which task is the task that needs fulfilling next? Like my sister Wendi said, that comes from an intuitive, sit down space where you are aligned with your purpose and asking something greater than you, the wisdom, infinite wisdom within you. Okay, what is the next move? Things like yoga, meditation, introspective conversations like we have in love lounges across social media, listening to this podcast and all of the thoughts and feelings that might be coming through to you right now. These are the types of wake-up calls that end up putting your life back on track. So, being in every room of my life, my personal room, social room, romantic room, family room, career room, then Wyann in her own body, my health room. Being in all those rooms of my life, in my own life, guess what? All 5 of those rooms is one house. And at any given time, I can only be in one of those rooms at a time. Focus, baby. Focus. It's what I have to tell myself every day. Sit down, get quiet, focus. Like last episode, put yourself on something really disciplined to make sure at some point and in some way you can touch on all the things that are important to you. Spend a little time with yourself. Okay, maybe you don't have a time for a full 1 hour workout. Can you jog 10 minutes in the morning? If it's half a mile, if it's a third of a mile, can you jog 10 minutes? Can you stretch for 13 minutes? Can you meditate for 5? Start making these bargains with yourself. How much water are you drinking? How many colors are on your plate? How much stuff came from the ground? Like vegetables, like fibrous things. How much stuff are you giving your body a break on? And that's just the health room. How many times have you just sent a text just to say, hey, thinking of you? Don't want nothing from you. Just want to make sure you're good. Some people say, I don't do that because don't nobody do it to me. Well, how about you start doing it to you? Pick up a journal. Make sure you're doing good every day. Check in with yourself. Stop waiting for somebody else to be your savior. The cat is out the bag. I am not your savior, said Kendrick Lamar. You can spend time with you and be the person that you need yourself to be. I'm not saying that you'll never need anybody else in the world. That's definitely not what I'm saying. But what I want you to know is that being a person, that was a sentence. Being a person allows you to appreciate people. Because once you see how hard it is just to maintain your focus in your own life, you stop sending the hey stranger stupid ass texts to other people like their life should revolve around having to think about you. When you text them, hey stranger, you're clearly thinking of them. So just say, hey, thinking of you. Hope you're doing well. Don't be a burden and, hey, I'm going to make this real weighty and make you think that you should have been thinking about me just because I was thinking about you. Don't be corny. Good God, don't be corny. I hope that when everything is important in your life, you take time to get real still. All you bosses, all you hustlers, all you bad bitches, all of y'all. Take some time. Get still. And let life reveal to you what's coming next. It's always talking. The question is, are you listening? Those are my words of wisdom for today. And before I mother effing go like my camera did. That was a very small turn up because I cannot believe that motherfucker just went up for me. I think there were 2 things that I meant to take off and I didn't. And they were all long. Pause. Yes, so now that we are here, now that we don't have a camera, pay your dues. The do, Maya, you know me and my sister love you. Your cousins love you. Me and Wendi love you. Maya Smith, CEO and MC, that is Master of Curl of The Do, at ILOVETHEDOUX. Y'all see that hair by Quista. Still got these wonderful braids in my hairs. And I like them when they get older. Cause like when I do Wendy's yoga and stuff and they just fall, it doesn't feel like everything in me is like going to fall out. I feel like my brains is gonna fall out. It felt like that. Now it just feels like, oh, okay, I got long hair ish. But yes, I've been using all of my cousin's products, and I don't know if I was supposed to do this, Quista, at Hair by Quista. That's my hair team. I always give them props because I like my hair and they keep it right. I don't know if I was supposed to do this, but I definitely had to wash my scalp. And what Maya teaches me is that my scalp needs to be its own sort of taken care of. Even if the hair is in a protective style, the scalp still needs moisture and it still needs to be rinsed and it still needs to have its own health organization going on there. So I literally held on my braids, washed my hair with the B-Girl line that she has out right now. And then I hydrated with honey. And get honey. I showed y'all that last episode. So I've been in love. And this hair is amazing. I'm gonna keep rocking it all the way to New York. Hello. By the time this comes out, I will be in New York and my hair will still be like this. So if you guys see me in the street, keep walking because it'll be really creepy if you came up to me. But send me a DM on at Raise It Up Why. Number 2. At 44 Obama Musical, all one word. 44 the numbers. 44 Obama Musical will be starting in November. Opening night is November 2nd at the Bourbon Room in Los Angeles, California. Tickets are on sale now. The link is in the bio of the Instagram page. 44 Obama Musical. Spell it just the way it sounds. And if you don't know, say it into your phone. Don't be weird. I am TJ Wilkins and my cousin Shawnice Shawnice Wilson. I was going to say Shawnice Wilkins. No, Shawnice Wilson online. Her name is at Shawnice Online. ShaniceOnline. Shawnice Online. They are your Mr. and Mrs. Obama. In this play, it is a musical. So them is some singing mofos right there. But everybody in this play can really sing. The play is going on from November 2nd to November 15th, opening and closing nights. Please, please, please make sure you visit the link in the bio of 44 Obama Musical on Instagram for your tickets. You will not be disappointed. I have seen this twice as they've been working it out. You will be completely entertained. It is one of the best things I've seen in a long time. That's all I'm gonna say about it. Let that simmer down and say what it is. Number 3, KA. Y'all knew this was coming. Hashtag CAYAY. Black girl emoji, doing yoga with my sister at I am Wendi with an I. My sister was killing the game. I couldn't let her go no sooner, and that is why we had to have her for the full episode. Sorry, y'all. She looked pretty. She sounded pretty. What'd you want me to do? And she's my big sister. Like, if she was mad, she could have just pinched me. So, the 4th pay your dues of the day. I know y'all see it. If you are listening, love, then you don't know what I'm talking about. Onlooking Loves on YouTube. This little yoga outfit. I can't stand up because they told me it doesn't look good when I stand up. That's what Onet said. Maybe I'll take a picture later. But in this outfit, I am a yogi, like professional yogi. This outfit came from a Black-owned store in the Culver City Mall. If you are native to Los Angeles and you know, it's called the Fox Hills Mall. We call it Uplift Us Marketplace. That is exactly the name of it on Instagram as well, at Uplift Us Marketplace. Shouts out to my boy Drex, who works there in the evenings, but this spot was created by his aunts, 2 of his aunts. So it is a Black-owned store with over 80%, I think it's closer to like 90% now of the brands in the store are all Black owned. So if you happen to be in Los Angeles and you happen to go to the Fox Hills Mall, make sure on level 2, you go visit my boy Drex and support the Uplift Us marketplace for cute outfits like the one I have on. I would stand up, but I might be bloated. Who knows? Okay. And then last but never least, we are going to make sure that we are going to wyannvaughan.com, WYANNVAUGHN, wyannvaughan.com for the 13 book from which I did a poem earlier, all right, in the Douxadiddy. Make sure that you all are coming to any of the Love Tuesdays, Love Lounge conversations and everything that's on Instagram on the at WYANNA Wyanna page. If you want to get in contact with me, make sure that you are hitting up Raise It Up Y, RAISEITUPWY, and the Love Say Rockets up on these hoes. On all of my socials, you can get to me at Raise It Up Y. And on Sundays, we even do a clubhouse room, usually at 3 p.m. on the West Coast. Again, I'll be traveling and I've had a lot of gigs, so they've kind of been scooting around, but that's when they are originally scheduled, and that's when you can usually find us throughout the year. Ladies and gentlemen, we have been on a little ride tonight, a little ride of balance. However, if you ever need a little more help with your balancing act called life, make sure you join us on Zoom with Wendi. I am Wendi with an I, during Kaye, and per the usual. Stay real, y'all.
Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up. Raise it up, why? Hey, raise it up. Hey, raise it up, why? Raise it up.